Hi, Cupcakes. How are you doing? Um, I'm on here today because I want to talk about two things that have been on my mind. Um, so I guess we can just get started with it. Um, I've never addressed this first um, issue or topic, and it is my feelings about when people, specifically so-called Christians say, "Oh, you're going to hell because what you do is an abomination." Um, and with me, I personally don't understand that because, I don't go off the label thing. I don't understand why in the world so many people, they say that rather than loving a person for whomever they are, and just, and just know that you're not the ones that you don't have the right to judge me or anybody. Um, no matter who you are, where you come from, you don't have the right to do that. So I overheard someone say this, um, and I wrote something. I wrote what they said down, and I wrote my thoughts about it. So I'm going to share with you guys what was said. Um, in this thing that someone said, they said, if you look in the Bible, Leviticus, it says, mankind shall not lay down with a man as a woman, and if they say it's an abomination, you know. And I thought about that, and I thought about that, and I thought about that, and I said, who are you to judge me? Who are you to say anything like that as if you have the God-given right to judge me or anyone like me or anything of that sort of nature? Um, so my thoughts about it was this. I wrote down, I said, in that same chapter, it also states that it condemns people from eating shellfish, but it don't stop people from stuffing their face filled with shrimp at the church fish fry. And I know a whole lot of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. And so many of y'all forget, you have to forgive me because it just seems to me that when Jesus made the new covenant, he set out the old rules of a vengeful and wrathful God, and he himself did not speak of homosexuality, but he did preach of love and forgiveness, and urges us not to or judge our fellow man, but embrace him. So let us all forget all of this hateful and outdated ideas and keep the true message of Jesus, which is love thy neighbor as thyself and love God. And so many people in the church tends to forget that. They think that it's their God-given right to tell you who is not, you know, what God considers to be, holy or acceptable in God's eye and things of that sort of nature. But I also want to say to you who are saying this and who's preaching this, who are you to do that? Because so many people tend to forget that, you know, God Himself actually went down into the pits of hell and went through hell to make a way for us to have everlasting life. When He died on the third day, He rose again. Because when He went through Calvary for all humanity kind, including myself. And I don't know anybody that can go through anything that He went through. Nobody. So many people might say, oh, I strive to be perfect, or I strive to be like Jesus and all this or whatever. And then they have, what would Jesus do? But you sit back and you condemn people like me to hell. But you have to ask yourself, is that something that Jesus would do? But you tend to preach and say, oh, I have the God-given right to tell you where you're going at, or I'm not saying this because it's not my words, it's just in the Bible. But so many people twist and contort the Bible for what they feel it should be, rather than just saying what God would feel. And all of us, honestly, we really don't know. If we didn't have the Bible itself, how would we know what would be the right way or the wrong way to go to heaven or hell? We don't know that. We just know this Bible is a script. It's a manual. It's a guide that helps us to get there. But none of us born in this world are even worthy in God's eyesight. We're just ragdolls. We're scraps. We're nothing in His eyesight. No matter how perfect you strive to be on this world, anybody that's born in this world is born out of sin. Anybody. I don't care how holy sanctified you are still born in sin. That's why you bear your cross and you take that walk with Jesus, because you are trying to get back on His good grace. If it wasn't for His good grace and mercy, you would not even be here. You would not even have a way to be here. As a matter of fact, God sent down Jesus through Mary, and Jesus went through Calvary for all humanity, God. So without Jesus even making that, having that, happen back when Mary and Jesus, when Mary and Joseph was here, none of us would ever have the ability, let alone any kind of way to get inside the pearly gates of, you know, of salvation, and or whatever you want to call it. No one would ever have that way for us to get inside of there. So it just appalls me that so many people just do that. So I don't personally agree with what they're saying, and you know I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna have so many people to give their own intake and say what they want to about it. But this is just my personal opinion. It's not an attack towards nobody. This is just how I feel. So if you agree, then you agree. If you disagree, you disagree. If you agree to disagree, then fine. But this is just my personal opinion about it. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is unconditional love. So many people tend to forget the meaning of that. And, while we're on this, Jesus himself and God, or whomever you want to call him, it has the only ultimate unconditional love to mankind, or however you want to call it. She, who, Jesus is the only person that has unconditional love, because Jesus will never steer you astray, and he will never treat you like man would, because man wasn't made to be, you know, he was made in God's image, and unfortunately things didn't go right. So now we're still trying to figure out a way to get up there. But there's a scripture that I want to share with you guys that was mentioned to me by my baby, that I want to share with you guys. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 4 through 8. It says, "Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity um, evileth not. Charity valueth not itself. Is not pushed up. Does not behave itself unseemingly. Seeketh not her own. Is not easy provoked. Thinketh not evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Beware all things, believeth all things, hope all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away." And what it's basically saying in those small, what I got from it was, love never fails. And, you know, unconditional love is something that so many people don't know anything about. They say that they know about unconditional love, but when you are really in unconditional love, Jesus is a great example of unconditional love, because for him to do what he did, I don't know nobody would do that. I can't even say that I would do that, because they even in the what is it, the movie that they had out, that actually depicts what he went through. No one can go through that. I know I couldn't do it. So I'm not even gonna sit there and lie like that. But it also goes back into So many people who judge people, and they, like I said before, they condemn, people like me to hell, or someone who is like me or feels like me. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Be you, and just know that anyone who's saying anything about you, they don't have the right, they don't have, you know, the ability to put you in hell or heaven. They don't have that. So what they're really speaking is just words, because men themselves, we're just dust. you know if we just flat out die today, we would turn into a pillar of dust. That's it. So don't let nobody tell you what you are and what you're going to be, because ultimately, unconditional love does come from Jesus, because I know that I pray to Jesus every night, and I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. And this video is not to say, oh, I'm all holy, sanctified, and nothing. It's not that. It's just that, I have, a lot of people don't believe that, I have my own relationship with Jesus, but I do, and I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I don't claim to say, oh, I go to church every freaking day and I just sit in the pew and all. It ain't even like that. It's just, I wanted to share this with you guys, because when my baby told me about this, I was thinking about this so much, and it just made me just want to share this with you guys, and just to let you guys know, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you are like me, or even if you're not like me, don't let nobody tell you that you are less than whatever you are, because unconditional love is just that. It's unconditional love. And I know I can personally say that, you know being with my baby, and this makes me so happy, because my baby has shown me the true definition of unconditional love, because so much I was just looking for it and trying to look for it, and I found it in the wrong places, and I was always treated less than what I thought I should be treated, and I went through my little trials and tribulations just like anybody else does. But the one thing that I can say is, being in the relationship is the best. This relationship with my baby is the best thing that ever happened to me, because my baby has shown me so many things that I never thought of at all, you know, and he is wise beyond years. I mean, just like wise beyond years. And, you know, a lot of people might say, well, is he's the best person and everything, or they, even people, if you guys are going with somebody and somebody's telling you, oh, you shouldn't be with him, or whatever it is, don't even listen to that, because the one thing that I always say is, if you don't like it, then that's you. you know he might not be the best for you, but he is the best for me. He might not be perfect for you, but he's perfect for me. And that's unconditional love. Unconditional love to me means, when you are going through your ups and your downs, that you're always there. It's just like the song by Mary J. Blige called Stay Down. That song really is truly the meaning of unconditional love to me, because it's not always a good thing, and it's not always a bad thing. You're not going to always be in a good situation, but you're not going to be in the bad situation. you know you're not going to always see dark clouds. You're not going to always see light. You're going to have a mixture of both, because that's what tests your relationship. That's what you know when things are going to get good, and that even though you're going through all of this is not going to last forever. Weeping may endure in the night, but joy comes in the morning, and that is so freaking true. It is so true. And I just want you guys to know that anyone who's in a relationship, or anyone who is like me and going through something hard, do not give up. Don't let nobody tear you down, and just know that you look upon the hills and you pray to God. God will hear your prayer and answer your prayers, because I know that He answered mine. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a living testimony of that. But I just want to come on here and say that. And thank you to all my new subscribers. I'm almost up to 700 cupcakes, so I love each and every last one of y'all. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and tell me how you feel at the bottom. Don't eat a cupcake, be one. Mwah. Smooches.